Let's talk, girlies.
I'm the librarian, and I came to read.
Before I really get into it, I just wanted to comment really quickly that I'm serving you hoes all type of citrus type of teas. I don't know if you can tell, girl. I'm serving you hoes orange juice Sunny D type of teas with this motherfucking shirt that I got on. Bitch, I don't know what it is about today. I was like, girl, let me wake up. Let me see what the tea is. The sun is shining. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to be the sun's twin today, okay? I'm putting on a bright ass, yellow ass v-neck and walking around, and you hoes simply just gonna have to put on your sunglasses. You hoes thought I was hot before, okay? I mean, I'm out here looking like the sun right now. Also, Justin and I are about to get our asses together and serve you hoes a sickling ass podcast tomorrow. So please, please make sure that you're continuing to visit. I see that you guys are getting y'all ass over there, but just make sure you continue to do so. ForTheCulturePodcast.com, we are serving you everything that you ever requested in this new episode. And y'all know we serve it to you girls at the very least twice a month. So please keep that in mind. If you're new to my channel, welcome to Motivation Monday, where we talk about real shit that affects us in our everyday life. Last week I talked about family. I talked about the fact that just because somebody is your family, just because y'all have similar DNA, y'all blood types the same, you know what I mean? Y'all have similar genes, girl. Just because y'all are blooded does not mean that you should stick around their ass if they're being fucking abusive. So, you know, you guys really responded well to that. I saw a lot of you guys had some scenarios in which you could really apply this shit. A lot of you guys could relate. I got a suggestion from someone. Instead of talking about family, which I've been focused on, let's talk about friends. This person specifically asked, how do I deal with a fake ass friend? Okay, how do I deal with somebody who's over here, you know, you thought they had your back, you know, you're just pouring out your heart and soul, you're putting everything into the relationship, and they just turn around and be fake, they turn around and betray your ass. And I feel like a good place to start is your intuition. Girl, you know what the tea is, stop playing. How many times have we gotten ourselves into trouble by simply not listening to our gut feeling, our intuition, girl? She's telling you a lot of times, I'm not saying every single time, but girl, a lot of times she's right. And when I use this example, think about when you would do tests in school or tests in high school, when you be filling out the Scantron and we're answering a multiple choice question, you go with the first thing that pops in your mind, bitch. You just say, okay, girl, yes, ma'am. I might not know 100% what this question is talking about, but girl, I see this answer and she looks good as fuck. And then you move on, but then your mind's like, well, maybe, was it the right answer? Should I go back and change it? Okay, and then you say, fuck it, I'm gonna go back. Even though my instinct told me one answer, I'm gonna use a different set of processes to come up with a different answer. And you change your answer from, let's say you chose A instinctually, you chose C, and you keep it moving. And you do that shit about 3 more times with maybe a couple questions that you don't really 100% understand. And then when you get the test back, you see every one of the motherfuckers, everyone, almost 100% of the time, at least with me, every one of them hoes, the first answer that you picked was the right one. Because you listen to your instinct. I don't know what it is, girl. I don't know the scientific research behind this shit, but I know a lot of times when your gut tells you something, girl, when your mind, when it's the first thing that you say, girl, it's either conditioned or it's instinct. I mean, we can get into psychology. Y'all need to look up what conditioning is, but it's either a conditioned response or, girl, this is an instinctual response, and girl, that's the right answer. So you need to stick with it, okay? So now you need to apply that to your social life. And that's something that I had to do as well. Girl, a lot of times, girl, it just doesn't sneak up on you, okay? You friends with this person for X amount of years, girl, it doesn't just sneak up on your ass like all of a sudden this person just came out of left field and fucked you over. A lot of times it doesn't. And I'm not saying that it never happens, because obviously the shit happens. That's why breakups happen. That's why divorces happen. That's why people stop talking to each other, girl. Somebody just fucked up and did some really fucked up shit. But a lot of times, if we're being honest with ourselves, we can see the shit coming from a mile away. Girl, you knew what this person's tea was. Girl, you knew those little signs of you going out of your way to do something and get this shit done for this person, but when you're in times of need, this person does not come through for you. And it's not saying that you're doing something and expecting something in return, but it's just you did something for this person out of the kindness of your heart, out of the fact that y'all are friends. It was an automatic response. And yet for the same person, when you're in trouble, when something's happening to you and this person claims to be best friends or y'all are friends or shit, and they just ignore your ass, they act like you're not, they act like nothing is wrong. They act like, well, girl, you can do it, you can make it out. Anyway, so as I was saying, like, girl, damn, bitch, you just gonna do me like that when I've seen you through X amount of situations? And it's little things like, girl, if you catch them being shady, it's one thing to be shady, but then it's another thing to go for the jugular. If you see them doing that shit, like, okay, we kicking around, we laughing, we being shady, okay, it's fun, but every single time that happens, you see them go for the jugular, like below the belt, like so on some like, girl, like you knew what that meant to me type shit. Like, don't bring that shit up. Like, girl, we was just playing around. If that shit happens all the goddamn time, girl, you need to see if this person is jealous of you. You need to see if this person really don't like you. Like, girl, don't ignore these signs. And that's not just with friendship, that's with relationships, that's with family, as I said before. Girl, don't ignore these signs, pay attention to it. And now, if it's something that you think, okay, girl, I can work on it, we can work on it together, maybe we're not seeing eye to eye on a particular issue, and that's why we're having trouble. That's why this friendship or that's why this relationship is having trouble. So we need to sit down, we need to have a talk. But a lot of times in those situations, the friend is not being intentional. They really weren't trying to fuck you up. Real friends, if they were trying to be mean, they will say, you know what, that was fucked up with me. Let me sit my ass down and apologize, and we're gonna move on forward from this shit. And that's it, okay? I think the way that I started dealing with fake friends, now there was a problem with me, okay? Because even in recognizing that a friendship was not going to work out, even in recognizing that this friendship is fake as fuck, I would still fake the funk and act like, okay, well girl, I can deal with this, it will get better. It was almost like the same type of thing I did with niggas I was dating and shit. Like, oh well girl, a lot of the shit they does is trash, but I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna stick it out, because this is friendship, this is like, we need to make this shit work. Okay, yes sis, as I said before, if both parties are willing to make the shit work and are actually putting in effort, yes, that makes sense. But if you're being abused, or if you're being neglected and ignored, and your feelings are being minimized all the goddamn time, and that's a part of their personality, they don't want to give it up, they don't see anything wrong with that shit, girl, that's a fake ass friend. That's a fake ass friend, girl. Move the fuck on. And so my problem was, as I said, it was difficult for me to say just give up on a friendship. It was difficult. I would feel bad for them. I would honestly care about their feelings more than I cared about mine when it comes to that situation. So I would just stick it out. I would just continue to be minimized and ignored. And the way that my happiness was set up, the way that I was, feeling anxious around people that I did not need to be around, I said, okay girl, something has to change. Something like, it's cute that you worried about what they might think if you drop their ass like a hot potato, but your mental health comes first, okay? So since in the beginning I couldn't really just cut somebody off, now I can do it. Now I can do it because maybe I'm a little bit older. I'm just like, girl, I don't have the time, I don't have the emotional space for that shit, for chaos in my fucking life, okay? So I can cut hoes off now. But before I couldn't do that shit. Like I felt bad for doing it. So what I did was, and maybe if you guys are in the same space and you feel kind of bad for cutting somebody off, but you know that you need to, because maybe you kind of have like a little soft spot or a soft heart for these people, that's kind of where I was. And if you're in that situation, this is how I started the process of being able to move myself away from different people. I started giving them what they gave me. And I know that sounds cliche, but girl, start doing that shit. You over here jumping over hurdles, running marathons, and starving yourself, and this is just an example, this is just a metaphor, but you starving yourself, making sure they're okay, running late for work because of their ass. Like girl, you just doing all types of shit for their ass, and they sitting around not even appreciative of the shit and not valuing you as a human being to say, oh shit, this person, really went above and beyond for me. Like, I'm going to make sure that they feel valued just like how they made me feel valued. You see what I'm saying? You doing all this extra shit for this person who doesn't give a fuck about you, girl. So what you got to do, girl, if you're scared to cut their ass off just like that, girl, give their ass what they're giving you, sis. Give their ass what they're giving you. They're giving you a hello, girl, give them a hello like Adele, bitch, that's it. If they give you a whole paragraph, they text, they really involved in your life and shit like that, give them back exactly what you, because a lot of times, especially people with personalities like me, we will give our all, pour out every part of ourselves into a relationship or a friendship and shit like that. As long as it's not at an unhealthy level where you're just being completely obsessed in the beginning, that's a whole different conversation, and then the other person would simply not be able to just give you everything, give you every part of themselves. But if y'all have reached a level where y'all are supposed to be best friends or whatever, and you're just pouring yourself into this shit, and the other person is not doing this shit, that means they don't value that connection as much as you do. So what you need to do, girl, is start giving them, as I said, what they give you, girl. I'm not gonna be jumping hurdles for somebody who can barely get out of the bed for me. I'm not running a marathon for somebody's ass who can barely leave their house and help me out when I need them. okay? And that's what friendship is, give and take. A lot of people don't realize that shit, and they're stuck in give and give relationships. You the only one giving, you the only one pouring yourself out. And that can be very destructive. It can be very discouraging, okay? Because then you start saying, okay, I'm doing all this work, I'm doing all this shit. It must be something wrong with me. Maybe maybe I need to change my methods. Why is this person not as receptive or as open? It's just some people aren't built like that, girl. Some people aren't built. You need to find the people who are built just like you, okay? It might take years. And it's not gonna be a whole lot of people. I think people see these movies and TV shows and music videos and shit, and they think that they're gonna have a group of 25 best friends. Girl, that's not, I mean, in my experience, that's not how real connections be working out, girl. Sometimes you just have 1, 2, or 3 good ass Judys, bitch, and that's it. That's it sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that, girl. A sweet, sickening ass golden connection is better than 500 shantytown built ass, you know what I mean? Abandoned house built ass connections with people, girl. Find you that 1, 2, or 3 good ass best friends, girl, and sit your ass down. And I think I talked about this earlier because I noticed that in like men that I was attracted to, I would kind of seek out ones that were emotionally unavailable. They were kind of stoic. I mean, they didn't know how to emote, and I had to sit my ass down and, you know, really figure out, girl, why the fuck are you why are you attracted? Are you drawn by these men who don't say shit, who don't do shit? Like, I joke about hood niggas and masculine ass niggas and shit like that, but I was really under a spell when I was younger. Like, oh girl, masculine, okay, it's just like all types of coon shit, you know what I mean? So I had to ask myself, sit down, why the fuck are you attracted to people who don't fucking value you? Okay, and that's just the dating side, I guess. But I really had to take that into consideration and reevaluate and restructure my fucking personality, girl. It's like, cause those were the only type of men that I really saw in relationships in my family. So maybe subconsciously I thought, okay, well girl, all men, I mean, there's no hope, girl. All men are like this, bitch. So that was the only type of men I was exposed to, honestly. So I just thought that was a part of every guy's personality. And it's like, bitch, you got to grow up, girl. Grow up and rediscover yourself, honestly. Discover who you are. Stop letting these barriers keep you in a toxic ass place. In the beginning of this video, I was talking about the friends that you're around, but now I want to make the point, like, girl, just make sure it's not you who's going out here and because of maybe a mentality that you're stuck in, you find yourself around people who are fake, people who don't value you, people who diminish your feelings, people who abuse you. Make sure that you can do some real soul searching. If you find that every friend you come across has those same personality traits, sometimes, I'm not saying it's your fault, I'm not victim blaming at all, but I'm saying sometimes it helps to understand our own thought processes and really examine, like, girl, are we the ones subconsciously walking towards a trap and we don't know it? Are we the ones attracted to disorder and dysfunction because that's the only thing that we've been exposed to, that's the only thing that we know, that's the only thing that we understand? And I know that sounds so fucking cliche, as I said multiple times before, but I think that's an important point. Are we the ones sitting up here, you know, subconsciously just moving towards chaos and chaotic people because chaos is the only thing that we have ever known? Chaos may have been in our family, our household, our relationships in the beginning of our lives. It might have been the only thing that we have ever seen. I don't think there was one romantic relationship that made sense in my immediate family. Somebody was always mistreating the other person. That's all I saw when I was young. So I'm like, okay, girl, this shit is normal. So sometimes I think we have to evaluate like our own thought processes. But yeah, when it comes to identifying these fake ass friends, girl, get them out. Once you got them, once you got their ass, once you see their ass on your radar, bitch, you're like, okay, bitch, this bitch is flawed, she fucked up. He is fucked up, he flawed as fuck. If you can't cut them off immediately, like I said, girl, just start giving them the same lackluster ass shit that they give you. And a lot of times your frustration will come when you realize that they don't give a fuck that you're giving them the same lackluster shit that you're giving them. You would think that you backing off and shit, you putting the lack of energy in the relationship that they do, you would think that, okay, they'll notice, and they'll be mad as fuck, and they'll start putting more effort into the relationship. And it's like, girl, a lot of times that shit don't work like that. A lot of times they're so trash and so flawed that they're just like, okay, girl, they don't even notice because their idea of a working relationship, that, I mean, it had already been accomplished, girl. Like, the same lackluster bullshit they putting in that shit, I guess that's what they expected. So you would think that, oh girl, they're gonna get mad, they're gonna improve. No ma'am, They're just like, this shit is normal to them. And it's not normal to you. That's why you need to find somebody else who has a different set of values. And that's it. I know I talked a lot, but hopefully you can take something from this. As usual, you guys, you need to make sure that you leave me some cute ass suggestions as to what we should talk about next Monday, because I'm getting my life from these goddamn videos, okay? I may not know everything, but I feel like this is kind of like a growing learning experience for both you guys and I. It just opens up conversations about shit that we need to talk about, okay? Shit that we have ignored, shit that we have glossed over and acted like, okay, well, girl, I can deal with it. And a lot of times you got to talk about this shit, girl, because you think you're alone in this shit, and everybody, I'm sure as you can see in the comment section of some of these videos, everybody is out here relating to this shit because everybody goes through it. You're not alone in this shit. So we're gonna work through this shit together, girl, okay? Adrian Army forever. Make sure, as I said, that you guys check out fortheculturepodcast.com. Tomorrow we're gonna give you everything that you need, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good goddamn evening.